Imagine this. You wake up early, sunlight spilling across the kitchen table. You crack open an egg, something you've done 1,000 times without thinking. Maybe it's for your morning toast, maybe it's habit, maybe it's comfort. But what if that ordinary egg in your hand holds the most extraordinary secret to keeping your body strong, your mind clear, and your energy steady well into your 60s, 70s, and beyond? Hi, I'm Dr. Michael Anders, and after over 4 decades in senior-focused medicine, I've learned something that most nutritionists overlook and most seniors have never been told. Eggs are not just good for you. They're biologically designed to be one of the most complete, healing, muscle-protecting foods on the planet. But somewhere along the way, we got scared of them. We feared the yolk. We blamed the cholesterol. We stripped away the very part of the egg that carries its richest nutrients. And worst of all, we forgot the power that a simple whole food can have when it's used the right way, at the right time, for the right body. That's what this video is here to restore. Because if you're over 60, your needs are different. Your muscles recover slower, your memory may feel foggier, and your body doesn't respond the way it once did. Not because you're broken, but because you've entered a new season of life. And in this season, the tools must change. The food must become your medicine. Today, we're going to walk through why eggs matter more than ever as you age, and how to eat them not just to feel full, but to feel strong, alert, balanced, and alive. We'll break through the myths, explore the science, and share real stories from real seniors whose health turned around, with just one humble egg at a time. So before you toss out the yolk or pass by the egg carton at the store, stay with me. Because what you're about to learn could reshape how you age, one bite at a time. And if you're ready for that transformation, I invite you to take the first step. Type 1 in the comments if this message speaks to you, or 0 if you're still deciding. Either way, I'm glad you're here. Alright, now that we've cracked open the truth about eggs, let's go deeper. Let's explore exactly why this everyday food might be the missing piece in your strength, stability, and recovery, especially after 60. Let's move to number 1, protein power, why eggs are the ultimate building block. Think back for a moment to everything your body is made of. Your skin, your muscles, your immune cells, your enzymes, even the hormones that regulate your mood and metabolism. What do they all have in common? They're all built from protein. And yet, as we age, something subtle and dangerous begins to happen. Our bodies become less efficient at using protein. The same serving that used to support muscle repair in your 40s may no longer be enough in your 60s or 70s. This is one of the reasons why so many seniors feel weaker over time. Not just because they're doing less, but because their bodies aren't getting the fuel they need to rebuild. And this is where eggs shine. One large egg contains about 6 to 7 grams of high-quality protein. And not just any protein. We're talking about a complete protein. One that contains all 9 essential amino acids, in nearly the exact proportions your body requires. This matters because your body can't make these amino acids on its own. You have to get them from food. And eggs are one of the most perfect natural sources you'll find. But here's where the science really gets exciting. Not only are eggs complete in their amino acid profile, they're also exceptionally absorbable. According to the Digestible Indispensable Amino Acid Score, DIAS, which is the gold standard for measuring how well your body actually absorbs and uses protein, eggs score a 1.12. That's higher than chicken, beef, tuna, or even whey protein. In simpler terms, your body knows exactly what to do with an egg. I once had a patient, Harold, age 73, who told me, "Doc, I eat chicken, I eat beans. I'm doing what I'm supposed to, but I still feel like I'm shrinking." We added just 2 boiled eggs to his morning routine, nothing fancy, and within a month he noticed he was walking a little steadier. He wasn't putting on slabs of muscle, but the trembling in his hands eased. He didn't need to grip the rail quite as tightly when he stood up. That's the quiet work of bioavailable protein, rebuilding the foundation without fanfare. And let me be clear, it's not just about muscles. Protein is essential for immune resilience, hormonal balance, wound healing, brain signaling, and metabolic stability. Especially in the senior years when your body is more vulnerable to stress, injury, and fatigue, giving it a steady supply of high-quality protein is like repairing the roof before the storm hits. So if you've been feeling weaker, more tired, or like your recovery from even simple activity takes too long, ask yourself, are you feeding your body what it truly needs to rebuild? Because eggs aren't just breakfast, they're building blocks. One of the few whole foods that carries nearly everything needed to restore the body from within. Let's dive into number 2. The truth about egg fats. Not all fats are the enemy. For decades, fat was treated like the villain of the nutrition world. If you grew up hearing low fat meant heart healthy, you're not alone. And when it came to eggs, especially the yolk, the fear was magnified. Too much cholesterol, they said. Clogs your arteries, they warned. So millions of people started throwing out the yolk and scrambling up only the whites, believing they were doing the right thing. But science has evolved. And the truth? The fats in eggs are not your enemy. In fact, for seniors, they may be one of the most misunderstood sources of healing and strength. Let me explain. Each large egg contains about 5 to 6 grams of fat, most of it located in the golden yolk. But here's the important part. Only about 30% of that fat is saturated, and even that is made up of types like stearic and palmitic acid, which don't significantly raise LDL, bad cholesterol levels in most people. The rest, roughly 40%, is monounsaturated fat, the same kind found in heart-protective olive oil, and about 20% is polyunsaturated, including linoleic acid and, in some cases, even omega-3s. These fats aren't harmful, they're necessary. Fat is what allows your body to produce hormones, absorb fat-soluble vitamins, A, D, E, and K, build brain cells, and support the delicate lining of every cell in your body. And in the case of eggs, fat plays another crucial role. It provides satiety. That satisfying, full feeling that keeps you from reaching for sugary snacks or overeating later. I remember working with a woman named Carol, age 69, who'd been stuck in a cycle of yo-yo dieting for years. She was always hungry, always low on energy. When I asked her what she ate for breakfast, she said proudly, "Just egg whites and toast. No fat." We made one small shift, 2 whole eggs, soft-boiled, with a side of sautéed spinach and olive oil. Within days, her cravings disappeared, her energy stabilized, her mood lifted. "I feel full for the first time in years," she told me. That's the power of balanced fat, especially when it's coming from a complete food like an egg, not a processed oil or fried snack. Now let's address the elephant in the room. Cholesterol. One egg contains about 200 milligrams of dietary cholesterol. For years we were told this would directly raise blood cholesterol and harm the heart, but the reality is for most people, dietary cholesterol has minimal effect on blood cholesterol. Your liver actually adjusts by making less cholesterol when you eat more of it. In fact, in 2015, the U.S. dietary guidelines removed the cap on dietary cholesterol, stating that cholesterol is not a nutrient of concern for overconsumption. Even better, eggs raise HDL, the good cholesterol, and improve the size of LDL particles, making them less dangerous. Still, if you're someone with familial hypercholesterolemia or a personal history of high LDL, it's wise to monitor your blood work and talk to your doctor. But for the majority of seniors, whole eggs are heart-friendly. Yes, you heard that right. And don't forget, hidden within the egg yolk are powerful antioxidants like lutein and zeaxanthin, which support eye health and reduce the risk of macular degeneration. These fat-soluble compounds need fat to be absorbed. Skip the yolk, and you skip the benefits. So the next time someone warns you about egg fat, ask them this: do you know what that fat is actually doing inside my body? Because for seniors, it's supporting memory, protecting vision, balancing hormones, and helping muscles recover. Let's move to number 3. The micronutrient goldmine in egg yolks. By now, you've probably heard people praise eggs for their protein. Maybe you've even begun to unlearn the old myths about fat. But there's something even more extraordinary hiding in the center of an egg: the yolk. That rich, golden orb isn't just fat and cholesterol. It's a nutritional treasure chest designed by nature to sustain new life. And for those of us in our 60s, 70s, or beyond, it holds the very nutrients our bodies are quietly crying out for. Let me explain why. Every egg yolk contains an impressive range of vitamins and minerals, many of which are difficult to get consistently from other foods. And almost all of them absent in the egg white. So if you've been tossing out the yolk, you've been throwing away some of the most senior supportive nutrition nature has to offer. Here's what I mean. Each yolk is rich in vitamin B12, vitamin A, vitamin D, vitamin E, vitamin K2, folate, phosphorus, selenium, and even a significant dose of iron. But beyond the list itself, let's talk about what these do for your aging body. Take vitamin B12, for example. As we age, our ability to absorb B12 from food declines, yet it remains essential for nerve health, red blood cell formation, and mental clarity. B12 deficiency in older adults can masquerade as memory loss, depression, or even early dementia. One whole egg provides about 20% of your daily B12 needs, and it's in a form your body can actually use. Or consider vitamin D, another nutrient most seniors are low in, especially if you spend less time in the sun. Vitamin D is critical for bone health, immune strength, and even muscle function. Without it, the risk of falls, fractures, and chronic inflammation rises dramatically. While most people turn to supplements, eggs, especially pasture-raised or omega-3 enriched eggs, offer a natural, gentle source of vitamin D. And then there's vitamin A, often overlooked, yet vital for eye health, skin integrity, and immune defenses. Combine that with lutein and zeaxanthin, antioxidants that accumulate in the retina and protect against macular degeneration, and suddenly, that egg on your plate becomes a vision-saving ally. I recall one patient of mine, Margaret, age 78, who came in complaining of blurry vision and dry skin. She'd been avoiding fat for years, eating egg whites every morning with toast. After reviewing her blood work and noticing low vitamin A and D levels, we made one small change. She added 2 whole eggs to her breakfast, 3 days a week. Within a month, her eyes weren't watering as often, and the flaking on her arms cleared up. "I thought I needed a new cream," she told me, smiling. "Turns out, I just needed the yolk." And let's not forget choline, often called the forgotten nutrient. Each egg contains about 150 milligrams of choline, one of the best food sources available. Choline is crucial for brain health, memory formation, muscle control, and even liver function. It supports the production of acetylcholine, a neurotransmitter involved in focus, learning, and mood regulation. As we age, choline needs increase, but intake often decreases, leading to a slow, subtle cognitive decline that's often misdiagnosed or ignored. Now here's something that might surprise you. Your body can make a small amount of choline on its own, but not nearly enough. That's why eggs are such a powerful natural solution, especially for seniors experiencing brain fog, forgetfulness, or loss of motivation. And here's one more gem hidden in the yolk: selenium. This trace mineral acts like an antioxidant mechanic, repairing cellular damage and reducing inflammation. It's essential for thyroid health, immune resilience, and cell protection, yet it's one of the most common mineral deficiencies in older adults. So you see, the egg yolk isn't just a side note. It's the whole story, especially if you're trying to age with clarity, strength, and vitality. It delivers the micronutrients that so many seniors spend hundreds of dollars trying to replace with pills. But nature already packed it all into one affordable, simple, delicious food. Let's move to number 4. eye health and antioxidants, lutein, zeaxanthin, and vitamin A. If you've ever had to squint at a screen or strain to read the fine print on a medicine bottle, you already know your eyes deserve support, especially after 60. Vision is something we often take for granted until it begins to fade. But what if I told you that eggs, yes, simple eggs, contain some of the most powerful protectors for your aging eyes? Let me explain. Tucked inside that golden yolk are two remarkable carotenoids, lutein and zeaxanthin. These aren't just fancy scientific terms. They're natural pigments that concentrate in the macula, the very center of your retina, responsible for sharp, detailed vision. Together, they act like internal sunglasses, filtering harmful blue light and neutralizing oxidative stress that can wear down your eyesight over time. Now here's the crucial part. Your body can't make lutein or zeaxanthin on its own. You have to get them from food. And while leafy greens like spinach and kale get the spotlight, the yolk of an egg makes these nutrients even more bioavailable. That means your body can actually absorb and use them more efficiently than it can from vegetables alone, thanks to the healthy fats in the yolk that help shuttle them into your bloodstream. And it doesn't stop there. Egg yolks also contain vitamin A, another essential nutrient for vision, particularly for night vision and preventing dry, irritated eyes. As we age, many seniors experience a condition called age-related macular degeneration, AMD, which slowly deteriorates central vision. It's one of the leading causes of vision loss in people over 65. But here's the good news. Multiple studies have shown that diets rich in lutein, zeaxanthin, and vitamin A can significantly reduce the risk of developing AMD and may even help slow its progression. I remember a patient named Henry, 74, who told me that driving at night had become increasingly difficult. The headlights blur and glare like I'm looking through fog, he said. We checked his labs, low in both vitamin A and lutein. He wasn't a big fan of salads, but was happy to eat 2 eggs a day. I suggested soft-boiled or scrambled with olive oil, keeping the yolk intact. 3 months later, he reported the glare had diminished, and more importantly, he felt safer behind the wheel. This isn't just anecdotal, it's consistent with research. A 2006 study published in the Journal of Nutrition found that consuming just 1 egg daily significantly increased both serum lutein and zeaxanthin levels without raising cholesterol in most participants. And it was those increases that helped improve macular pigment density, a strong protective factor against vision decline. So if you're worried about losing clarity, struggling with glare, or noticing that reading feels harder than it used to, don't overlook what an egg can offer. Because these nutrients aren't found in high amounts in just any food. You'd have to eat several cups of spinach a day to match the bioavailable lutein you get from a couple of yolks. And unlike supplements, the yolk delivers these nutrients in harmony, as nature intended, supported by fat, stabilized by protein, and absorbed gently over time. It's the perfect, compact delivery system for vision preservation. So yes, go ahead and enjoy your eggs with the yolk, especially if you're already experiencing signs of visual fatigue, or if you want to protect your independence, your reading comfort, your ability to drive, or simply the joy of seeing your grandchildren's faces clearly across the table. Let's move to number 5. Egg types decoded. What labels really mean. You've probably stood in the grocery store staring at cartons of eggs with more labels than a pharmacy shelf. Cage-free, free-range, pasture-raised, organic, omega-3 enriched, and wondered quietly, do any of these actually matter? Or is this just marketing noise? You're not alone. Let me tell you about Roger, a retired high school principal, 78 years old, sharp-witted but visibly frustrated during a recent checkup. "Doc," he said, "I just want to eat healthy eggs, but I feel like I need a PhD just to pick a dozen." He's not wrong, but the truth is simpler than it seems if you know what actually matters for your health. So let's crack it open. Cage-free means hens aren't confined to battery cages, but it doesn't mean they get sunlight or fresh air. They typically live indoors, roaming freely in large barns. Free-range eggs come from hens that have some access to the outdoors. It could be a small patch of grass or simply a door to a patio, but it's a step up in welfare and often nutrition. Pasture-raised hens roam on real pasture, grass, insects, sunshine. These eggs tend to have slightly higher amounts of omega-3 fatty acids, vitamin D, and carotenoids, especially lutein and zeaxanthin, the same antioxidants that protect your eyes. Organic eggs come from hens fed organic feed, raised without synthetic pesticides, antibiotics, or hormones. This is good for people who want to minimize chemical exposure, though nutrient differences are often modest. Omega-3 enriched eggs? These come from hens fed flaxseed or fish oil, and the yolks genuinely contain more heart-healthy omega-3s. If you rarely eat fatty fish, these eggs can be a simple insurance policy for your cardiovascular system. Now here's the key takeaway. All eggs offer outstanding nutrition, especially for protein, choline, and eye-supportive nutrients. But if you can't afford it, pasture-raised or omega-3 enriched eggs offer the most nutritional bang for your buck. For Roger, and for many seniors on a fixed income, I gave this practical advice. Prioritize freshness, and if you can, choose either omega-3 enriched or pasture-raised. But don't lose sleep if you can't swing the $7 carton every week. Even conventional eggs provide over 90% of the core benefits we've discussed today. So don't let perfect be the enemy of the good. You're not failing your body by picking a standard dozen. You're nourishing it. And with just a little know-how, you're making wiser choices every time you shop. Now, once you've brought those eggs home, chosen the type that fits your values and budget, the next question is just as important. How should you cook them to preserve their power and protect their nutrients? Let's move to number 6. Cooking methods that preserve or destroy nutrients. So you've got your eggs. You've chosen wisely, whether it's organic, pasture-raised, or whatever works best for your needs. Now comes the part that seems simple, but can actually make or break the nutritional power of what's inside that shell. Let me ask, how are you cooking your eggs? Because here's the truth. Not all cooking methods are created equal. The way you prepare your eggs can either preserve their delicate nutrients or quietly strip them away. Let's start with the science. Boiling or poaching eggs is one of the best ways to retain their nutritional value. These methods use gentle heat and avoid added oils, which means you're keeping the protein structure intact and minimizing fat oxidation. Even better, soft boiling your eggs not only maintains more vitamins like A, D, and B12, it also preserves their bioavailability, meaning your body can absorb and use those nutrients more effectively. It's like unlocking the full potential of that little oval. Scrambling is fine too, especially if you do it slowly over medium heat with a heart-healthy oil, like extra virgin olive oil or avocado oil. Both of these are rich in monounsaturated fats and far better choices than butter or processed vegetable oils, especially for seniors concerned with cholesterol or cardiovascular risk. But here's the danger zone. Frying at high heat. It's fast and tasty, sure, but it can damage sensitive nutrients like choline and lutein, and it may create compounds that burden your liver or increase inflammation, exactly what we're trying to avoid after 60. The same goes for overcooking your eggs. Burnt edges, rubbery whites, yolks turned green. That's more than just a culinary offense, it's nutritional sabotage. Heat-sensitive antioxidants, like zeaxanthin, begin to degrade the longer they're exposed to high temperatures. So remember this tip, low and slow wins the race. And if you're still wondering what to try first, here's my personal favorite. A soft-boiled omega-3 egg, sliced over steamed greens, or a slice of whole grain toast with a drizzle of olive oil. It's simple, it's powerful, and your body will thank you. Now I want to hear from you. What's your favorite way to enjoy eggs? Poached, scrambled, baked into muffins? Share it in the comments below. I read every one, and who knows, I might just give your recipe a try in my own kitchen. Alright, we've covered the benefits, the types, and the best ways to cook. But we haven't yet addressed the elephant in the room. The question that still makes headlines, divides dinner tables, and leaves many seniors wondering, is the cholesterol in eggs actually dangerous, or have we misunderstood it for decades? Let's move to number 7, the great cholesterol debate, what you've been told versus what's true. This is the part where most people lean in, because for decades, eggs have been painted as both the villain and the hero of heart health. And it's no wonder you've been confused. Back in the day, we were told that cholesterol was the enemy. 1 egg a day? Fine. 2? Dangerous. That yolk you loved? Filled with 200 milligrams of dietary cholesterol. And since the old American Heart Association guidelines recommended no more than 300 milligrams a day, many seniors began skipping eggs altogether, believing they were protecting their arteries. But here's what the science actually shows, and what the 2015 U.S. dietary guidelines finally acknowledged. For most people, dietary cholesterol does not significantly raise blood cholesterol. That's because your liver is smarter than you think. When you eat more cholesterol, your liver simply produces less of it, and when you eat less, it makes more. Let's make that clearer. Your body regulates its own cholesterol. Eggs do raise cholesterol, but mainly the good kind, HDL. And they also increase the size of LDL particles, making them less likely to clog your arteries. It's not just the amount of cholesterol that matters, but the type and pattern. And in that department, eggs often improve your lipid profile. So who should still be cautious? If you have familial hypercholesterolemia, a genetic condition that makes your cholesterol levels dangerously high, or if you're already living with serious heart disease or uncontrolled diabetes, you may need to moderate. But even then, it's not about cutting eggs completely. It's about working with your doctor and watching how your body responds. Let me share the story of Harold, one of my patients from years ago. He's 69, with a long family history of heart disease. He avoided eggs for decades, wouldn't touch them. But his breakfast routine was full of sugary cereals and processed carbs. We shifted his habits. 2 soft-boiled eggs with avocado toast, less sugar, more walking. 3 months later, his HDL was up, triglycerides were down, and his LDL profile had improved. He looked at me, eyes wide, and said, "I can't believe I was afraid of a food that actually made me feel stronger." That's the power of looking past the headlines and trusting your body, guided by real science, not outdated myths. And if you're still not convinced eggs are worth your plate space, if you're still thinking, but they're just breakfast food, stay with me. Let's dive into number 8, how eggs help seniors, specifically, not just for muscle, but for mood, immunity, and longevity. By now, you know eggs are a powerhouse of complete protein, but their value for seniors goes far beyond muscle repair. Inside each shell lies a cocktail of nutrients that support your most vital systems, especially as the body ages and becomes more vulnerable to decline. Let's start with selenium. This trace mineral may not get headlines, but it plays a critical role in maintaining immune function, something especially important for seniors who want to stay resilient during cold seasons or recover faster after illness. Just 1 egg provides over 20% of your daily selenium needs, which helps produce powerful antioxidants and regulate thyroid function. Your immune system simply works better when this mineral is present. Now let's talk mood, something we don't address enough in aging. Eggs are one of the richest sources of choline, a nutrient that supports the creation of acetylcholine, a neurotransmitter deeply tied to memory, mood stability, and alertness. As choline levels decline with age, so too can mental clarity. But eggs help refill that tank, often in ways seniors can feel. Take Maria, a 74-year-old widow who came into my office with a complaint I've heard hundreds of times. "I just feel fuzzy." She wasn't depressed. She wasn't sick. But every morning she said she'd wake up in a fog, forget her teas, struggle with words. Her breakfast? 2 slices of toast and jam. We made one change, replaced the toast with 2 soft eggs. That was it. Within a week, she said, "Doctor, I feel like the lights are back on in my head." That's not magic, it's brain nourishment. Eggs also support hormone production and DNA methylation, 2 behind-the-scenes processes essential for aging gracefully. They contribute to everything from energy levels to the repair of damaged cells. And when combined with the protein that supports muscle and the fats that nourish the brain, eggs become more than food. They become functional medicine. So if you're over 60, don't think of eggs as just breakfast. Think of them as daily protection for your brain, your immune system, your mood, and your future. Let's move to number 9. When you eat eggs, the surprising power of timing. We've talked about what makes eggs powerful, but here's the secret most people miss. When you eat your eggs may be just as important as the eggs themselves. Especially if you're over 60, timing can amplify or limit the benefits your body receives from nutrition. For decades, eggs have been synonymous with mornings, and for good reason. They provide steady energy, mental clarity, and satiety to kick off your day. But for muscle repair, overnight recovery, and even better sleep, the evening may be an even smarter time to crack open a soft-boiled egg. Here's why. During sleep, your body enters a phase of deep cellular repair. Your muscles don't grow while you exercise. They grow at night, when your body has access to amino acids and is no longer under physical stress. That's when leucine, the amino acid found abundantly in eggs, does its best work, triggering muscle protein synthesis and helping your tissues rebuild stronger, not weaker. A recent study published in the Journal of Nutrition found that older adults who consumed 15 to 20 grams of protein within 2 hours of sleep retained more lean muscle mass and experienced better overnight insulin sensitivity, a crucial factor for those managing blood sugar and metabolic health. Eggs fit that window beautifully. They're not too heavy, won't spike your glucose, and they deliver exactly the kind of slow-digesting nourishment your body needs as it transitions into rest mode. Even better? Pair 1 soft-boiled egg with a cup of warm chamomile tea about 60 to 90 minutes before bed. This combination helps stabilize blood sugar, delivers choline and protein to your brain and muscles, and introduces calming apigenin from the chamomile, helping your nervous system settle into sleep without the crash of pills or sugar. It's gentle. It's effective. It works with your body's natural rhythm instead of against it. So here's your invitation. Try this for 5 nights straight. 1 soft egg, 1 cup of chamomile. Then drop a comment and tell me how your mornings feel. Are you steadier on your feet? Sharper in your thinking? A little more you? Because sometimes it's not just what's on the plate. It's when you choose to honor your body with nourishment. Let's move to number 10. Egg variations. Duck, quail, goose, and turkey eggs. By now, you've heard how powerful a simple chicken egg can be. But what if we step outside the shell of routine? What if your body, or your curiosity, could benefit from a little variety? You see, not all eggs are created equal. Around the world, from the river markets of Southeast Asia to rustic farms in Eastern Europe, people have long relied on alternative eggs, each with its own unique nutritional profile, texture, and cultural story. And for seniors looking to optimize their health, understanding these variations can be more than just trivia. It can be transformative. Take duck eggs, for example. Larger and richer than chicken eggs, duck eggs contain more protein, more fat, and significantly higher amounts of vitamin A, B12, and selenium. That makes them particularly valuable for seniors who need immune support or are trying to recover lost muscle mass. The downside? Their richness means they can feel heavier, and their slightly higher cholesterol content may not be ideal for those with specific lipid sensitivities. Still, for many, especially in traditional Asian diets, duck eggs are a prized source of strength. Now consider quail eggs, tiny, speckled jewels with a surprisingly dense nutritional punch. Per gram, quail eggs often outshine chicken eggs in iron, B2, riboflavin, and B12. They're especially popular in Japan, Korea, and parts of Europe, where they're not just food, but symbols of vitality. Because they're so small, they're often eaten in groups of 3 to 5, and their mild flavor makes them perfect for seniors with sensitive palates or weaker digestion. Goose eggs, on the other hand, are giants, up to 3 times the size of chicken eggs, with a robust, earthy flavor and an even higher dose of nutrients like vitamin A, choline, and omega-3 fatty acids. Due to their richness, they're best used occasionally, perhaps in baking or as a weekend breakfast highlight. But for those dealing with neurodegenerative conditions or brain fog, that bump in healthy fat and choline can provide meaningful support. And then there's the turkey egg, rare but nutrient-dense. They deliver solid amounts of vitamin D, zinc, calcium, and B12, which are especially critical for older adults dealing with brittle bones or weakened immune systems. Because turkeys lay far fewer eggs than chickens, they're often pricier and harder to find. But when you can source them, perhaps at a farmer's market or local homestead, they're worth a try. Of course, the question isn't just about nutrition. It's about availability, affordability, and individual need. Who might benefit from trying these alternatives? Someone with a sensitivity to chicken eggs might find duck or quail eggs easier to digest. A senior needing more nutrient density and smaller bites, perhaps due to poor appetite, may do well with quail eggs. And those seeking occasional richness or variety without relying on red meat could enjoy duck or goose eggs in moderation. Culturally, eggs have always symbolized life, rebirth, and renewal. In Orthodox Easter traditions, red-dyed eggs symbolize sacrifice and new beginnings. In Chinese medicine, duck and quail eggs are viewed as restorative foods that balance yin and yang. In rural traditions around the world, families prize their first egg of spring as a sign of hope and vitality. These aren't just superstitions, they're reflections of the ancient understanding that food is not only fuel, but story, memory, and meaning. So should you rush out and stock your fridge with every kind of egg? Not necessarily. But knowing what's out there allows you to make targeted, wise choices. Maybe you try a few quail eggs with your breakfast oats. Maybe you swap one chicken egg for a duck egg in your weekend scramble. Maybe you simply feel a little more connected to your plate the next time you crack open a shell. Let's move to number 11. How many eggs should seniors eat? It's the question everyone asks once they've discovered just how powerful eggs can be. Doctor, how many should I actually eat? And the truth is, there's no one-size-fits-all answer. But for most healthy adults over 60, 1 to 3 eggs per day is not only safe, it may be one of the most valuable dietary habits you can adopt. Let's start with the baseline. For seniors with no major health complications, 1 egg per day provides a reliable boost of high-quality protein, brain-supportive choline, and immune-strengthening selenium, without tipping your calorie scale or your blood work into dangerous territory. In fact, the American Heart Association and Harvard Health both note that moderate egg consumption in older adults does not increase cardiovascular risk for the vast majority of people. But here's where it gets more personalized. If you're active, recovering from injury, dealing with low appetite, or working to rebuild strength, you may benefit from 2 or even 3 eggs daily, especially when those eggs are part of a balanced meal. Now let's talk exceptions. If you've been diagnosed with familial hypercholesterolemia, a rare genetic condition that causes very high LDL cholesterol, or if you have advanced kidney disease, or you're taking medications like statins, ACE inhibitors, or certain diuretics, your egg intake may need to be adjusted. In these cases, your doctor or dietitian should guide you based on your lab results and overall risk profile. But don't assume you're in the danger zone just because you once heard eggs are bad. Many seniors actually see improved HDL levels and better satiety when they make eggs a regular part of their breakfast or light evening meal. So how do you pair eggs wisely? Here's where the magic happens. An egg on its own is good. But an egg with avocado? Now you've added heart-healthy fats and extra potassium. An egg over sautéed spinach? That's your vitamin K, magnesium, and fiber in one go. Scramble an egg with a side of steel-cut oats and blueberries, and you've just combined protein, slow carbs, and antioxidants into a metabolic healing breakfast. Or try a soft-boiled egg sliced over lentils, tomatoes, and arugula for a savory, inflammation-fighting lunch. Here are a few simple suggestions. Breakfast: 2 soft-boiled eggs plus a slice of whole-grain toast, half an avocado. Lunch: egg salad made with Greek yogurt, served in a lettuce wrap with fresh cucumber. Dinner: 1 poached egg over sautéed kale and roasted sweet potato. Evening snack: a soft scrambled egg with chamomile tea for calm, restorative sleep. The key isn't just how many eggs you eat, it's how you integrate them into your rhythm of life. Let's move to number 12, myths, misconceptions, and common questions. Doctor answers, rapid fire. By now, you've learned just how powerful and restorative eggs can be. But as a doctor who's been asked about them more times than I can count, I know there are still lingering questions. Let's tackle the most common ones. Head on. Rapid fire. No fluff. Ready? Egg whites versus whole eggs. Should I skip the yolk? Only if you want to miss out on the best part. Egg whites are pure protein, yes, but the yolk is where the nutrients live. Choline, vitamin D, selenium, lutein, B12, and nearly all the fat-soluble antioxidants your brain, eyes, and nerves need to stay sharp with age. The myth that yolks are dangerous has been thoroughly debunked for the majority of healthy adults. Unless your doctor has told you otherwise, go for the whole egg. Nature didn't separate them, and neither should we. What if I can't digest eggs? Then don't force it, but let's figure out why. Some people experience bloating, reflux, or nausea after eating eggs. This may be due to intolerances to egg white proteins, particularly ovalbumin, or a sensitivity to the fat in the yolk. Others may just be reacting to the way the eggs were cooked, overheated, fried in butter, or eaten too quickly. Try this. Opt for soft-boiled or poached eggs, eat slowly, and pair them with a light carb or fiber-rich veggie. If you're still uncomfortable, consider pasture-raised or duck eggs, which have slightly different proteins and may be gentler. And of course, consult a gastroenterologist if symptoms persist. Can I eat eggs raw like in smoothies or yolk shots? Technically, yes, but I don't recommend it. Raw eggs have a lower bioavailability of nutrients and carry a small but real risk of salmonella. And unless they're pasteurized, you're taking an unnecessary gamble, especially if you're over 60, immunocompromised, or recovering from illness. Cooked eggs are actually more digestible and allow your body to absorb nutrients like biotin and protein more effectively. So unless you're Rocky Balboa prepping for a fight, skip the raw shots and enjoy your eggs gently cooked. Does boiling destroy the vitamins in eggs? Not significantly, especially if done right. Boiling does reduce some heat-sensitive nutrients like vitamin A and certain antioxidants, but it also enhances protein absorption and improves biotin bioavailability. The trade-off? Still worth it. In fact, soft boiling for 6 to 7 minutes is one of the best ways to preserve both nutrients and digestibility. Avoid overcooking to prevent rubbery texture and nutrient degradation. Should seniors avoid eggs after surgery, cancer, or illness recovery? Quite the opposite. Eggs may be exactly what your healing body needs. Eggs are rich in amino acids, B vitamins, and selenium, which are critical for tissue repair, immune support, and energy metabolism. In cancer recovery, appetite and nutrient intake often drop, and eggs provide a dense source of nourishment in a small portion. Post-surgery, they're often easier to digest than meats, and their high-quality protein aids in wound healing and muscle preservation. Just be mindful of your individual medical plan and opt for soft-cooked, low-fat preparations unless advised otherwise. So yes, eggs are one of the rare foods that can bridge prevention and recovery, daily routine and therapeutic support, simplicity and science. Still have a question I didn't cover? Drop it in the comments. I read every one. And if you've made it this far, you're clearly someone who values your health, your strength, and your future. Now let's close this journey the way we began it, grounded in care, truth, and a little reminder of what's possible when you give your body what it's truly been asking for. Let's bring it all together in this final chapter. Eggs are a gift of nature, but only if you understand them. For decades, eggs have bounced between hero and villain in the world of health. One day they're praised as nature's perfect protein. The next, they're blamed for heart disease and high cholesterol. But here's the truth. Eggs were never the enemy. They've just been deeply misunderstood. When you really understand eggs, not the headlines, not the fear, but the science, the history, the way they interact with the human body, you realize they're one of the most complete, affordable, and powerful foods available to us. And especially for seniors, that matters more than ever. Because after 60, your body isn't just looking for calories. It's asking for tools. Tools to rebuild lost muscle. Tools to repair cells and protect memory. Tools to keep your heart steady, your energy stable, and your mind clear. And eggs offer exactly that, when eaten wisely, in the right form, and in the right amount. I once had a patient in her late 70s. A former teacher named Irene. She had stopped eating eggs years ago after hearing they were bad for cholesterol. When we looked at her labs, her protein intake was barely half of what it needed to be. Her energy was low, her balance was off, and her meals were mostly toast and tea. We reintroduced one soft-boiled egg each morning with a sprinkle of black pepper and a few avocado slices. Within 3 weeks, she told me, "Doctor, it's like I came back to myself. I feel steady again." That wasn't magic. That was biology, finally being supported. So if you feared eggs or pushed them aside, I encourage you to take another look. Not because they're trendy, not because they're cheap, but because they're one of the most elegantly designed foods on earth. Compact, complete, and full of healing potential. If only we know how to use them. You're not just feeding your body, you're feeding your future. And if today's video helped you rethink that future, please take a moment to support our community. Like this video so others can discover it. Comment below with your own story. Do you eat eggs daily? Have they helped you? And subscribe to Be Healthy Seniors, where every week we explore the simple truths that make aging stronger, wiser, and more nourishing than ever before. We're not just growing older, we're growing better. Until next time, stay kind to your body, stay curious, and yes, enjoy your eggs.